History and appreciation of art from 700 Christian era to 1200 Christian era. Dear learner, now we have come to important phase of Indian art and culture. The Gupta dynasty was replaced by the different dynasties on different part of India. The Pallavas ruled the southern part, the Hoysala in the Deccan part, Rashtrakutas in the western part, and the Cholas in the extreme southern part of India. All the kings of these dynasties were lovers of art and architecture. They built the impressive temples and Dravidian styles of architecture, which was adorned with excellent sculpture art. Rashtrakutas gave an excellent form to rock-cut temples in Ellora and Elephanta. The Cholas built large Dravidian temples and excelled in metal sculpture. The Hoysalas created very intricate and delicate form of sculpture. The central part of India was ruled by the Chandela dynasty, and their most important contribution were the Khajuraho, which are famous for its sculptures. The rulers in the eastern part of India also contributed in their own way to the development of Indian art. Particularly, the Pala and Sena dynasty in Bengal and Ganga dynasty in Orissa built beautiful temples. The terracotta temples of Bengal and world-famous Konark temple in Orissa were built during this period. Shore Temple. Pallava kings were great builders. Most of the architectures and sculptures of this period are at Mahabalipuram. The structural temple was built on the seaside on the model of Dharmraj Ratha of Panchrathas, and which is famous as Shore Temple. The shikhar is pyramidal in shape, which has 7 steps, reducing in size at the top. This is one of the earliest Dravidian architectural forms of South India. The descent of Ganga, or the Arjuna's penance. The most imposing art form in Mahabalipuram is a huge boulder carved with hundreds of human and animal figures. The scholars are not unanimous to identify the theme of this relief sculpture. According to some, the carving tells a story of meditation of Arjuna to get a weapon from Shiva, and other scholars believe it narrates the story of Bhagirath who brought down Ganga from heaven to save his ancestors. The carvings are meticulously done with every detail. The form of 2 elephants and a monkey family are surprisingly realistic. The Anantashayana of Vishnu. Few meters from Pancharatha, there are 2 rock-cut mandapas. The image of Vishnu in Anantashayana is carved on one of the side walls of this mandapa. The horizontal composition is balanced with the vertical figure of the Asura in the right side of the panel, while a figure of Vishnu is lying on the coiled figure of Sheshnag. The snake or Sheshnag is protecting Vishnu with its 5 hoods in the left side of the composition. Rashtrakuta, 8th century to 10th century of Christian era. Kailashnath Temple of Ellora. The Kailashnath Temple of Ellora is carved out from a part of a hill. The temple is in Dravidian style of architecture and decorated with relief sculptures in the outer side of the temple, and the inside of the mandapa is also painted with murals. This temple is dedicated to Shiva. Different episodes of Shiva Puran, Ramayana and Mahabharata have been carved on its walls. Sita Haran, abduction of Sita. This is a relief sculpture on the wall of Kailashnath temple. It shows how Jatayu, the great bird, is trying to stop Ravan from taking away Sita to Lanka in his flying rath. Ravan is fighting Jatayu with a sword and a shield in his 2 hands, while Jatayu is pecking on the thigh of Ravan with his beak. It's an excellent diagonal composition on a rectangular space. Kalyan Sundar Murti at Elephanta. Beside the famous Trimurti, the Elephanta caves are carved with sculptures related to the stories of Shiva. The iconography of marriage of Shiv and Parvati is known as Kalyan Sundar Murti. In this relief sculpture, the marriage ceremony of Shiv and Parvati is shown. The wedding is attended by god, goddesses and other celestial persons. Dear learner, now we have come to another important dynasty, that is Chola art. 10th century to 11th century of Christian era. Brihadeshwar Temple of Tanjore. Brihadeshwar Temple is one of the tallest temples in Dravidian style of architecture. The Viman of this temple is conceived from the Dharmraj Rath of Mahabalipuram. Viman is the main temple where the image of Shiva is installed. The outside walls of this temple are decorated with sculptures. These sculptures also show some poses and postures of Bharatnatyam. In fact, this classical dance form, which was completely forgotten, was revived from the poses of these sculptures. Parvati. Chola dynasty was very famous for its bronze sculptures. Making of bronze sculptures is a traditional art form of India, which could be traced even in the Indus Valley civilization. But the most mature form of this art emerged during the Chola period. The Nataraj Murti is internationally famous, but the Parvati images of Chola are no less beautiful. This beautiful sculpture standing in Abhanga Mudra, in which she has the body pressure on the right leg and the left leg is slightly touching the ground. The statue is highly finished and with perfect anatomical detail. No doubt, this sculpture is one of the brilliant creation of the Chola artist. Chola Ganesh. Ganesh is a very popular god of Hindus and worshipped all over India. This bronze sculpture of Ganesh shows the mastery of the artist, in which the fluent mass of the figure of Ganesh is formed in 3 dimensions. The tactile quality of the form is skillfully achieved by the modeling of the figure, in which the softness of the belly is contrasted with the hardness of the bones of the 2 legs. In spite of the massiveness of the form, the image of the Ganesh remains cute and lovable. Hoysala art. 11th century to 14th century of Christian era. Chennakeshwar Temple. The Hoysalas were ruling in the Karnataka area and built beautiful temples in Belur and Halibut. The architectural style of Hoysalas is very different from Nagar and Dravid style. It is based on a star-shaped platform with a very small shikhar. The temples were built with a kind of stone which are very soft when it is quarried and later become hard. So it allows to carve very intricate designs on the stones, almost like that of ivory carvings. Chennakeshwar Temple in Belur is good example of Hoysala style of architecture. Vishnu and Lakshmi. According to some art historian, Hoysala sculpture are regarded as the beginning of decadence of Indian sculpture because the sculptures give emphasis more on over ornamentation rather than spiritual quality. This image of Vishnu and Lakshmi shows the mastery of stone carvings and in handling of very delicate designs of jewelries and costumes. The composition is overcrowded with all kinds of forms. Nevertheless, one must appreciate the craftsmanship of the sculptures. Dear learners, now we are moving from southern part to eastern part of India. Ganga dynasty in Orissa, 11th century Christian era to 15th century Christian era. Sun Temple. The world famous Sun Temple of Konark is better known as Black Pagoda. It is built in Nagar style with the Jagmohan Mandap and Nata Mandap. Unfortunately, the main temple is totally lost and only the Mandap and Nata Mandap remain. The Mandap is of pyramidal shape on a square base. The steps on the top are decorated with freestanding sculptures of apsaras playing musical instruments. In front of the mandap, only a part of Nata Mandap stands with its gorgeous carvings all over the walls of faces. Wheel of Konark Temple. The design of Konark Temple is conceived as a chariot of sun god who moves around the earth from east to west. This chariot is pulled by 7 horses. On the 2 sides of the temples, there were 12 pairs of wheels. The wheels are designed not only with astronomical data but also are symbols of Hindu philosophy. Every spike of the wheels signifies the cosmic quality of the universe. Chandela period. 10th century Christian era to 13th century Christian era. Jagdambi Temple. In the temple complex of Khajuraho, there is a Nagar style of temple called Jagdambi Temple. This temple is dedicated to Vishnu, though it is named after Parvati. The temple is on a flat platform with the Nata Mandap in one side. The outer side of the walls are embellished with sculptures, but they are not as rich as it is in Kandarya Mahadev temple. The sculptures are of gods, goddesses, and apsaras. Apsara applying kajal on her eyes. The Khajuraho temples are very famous for depiction of female figures. The Apsara, a celestial nymph, is shown applying kajal on her eyes, which is a part of Shringara. The slightly inclined posture gives us a suggestion of grace. The elegant features of the body are beautifully carved, and she is holding a stick of kajal and softly putting on her eyes. The composition is supported by two fantastic animals in two sides.